Today I'm going to show you guys how to change out the engine oil on your Yamaha TW200. It's going to be a similar process for any of the TW200s, whether it's a 1987 or a current model, and it's one of the easiest ways to keep your engine in good running condition. So let's go ahead and get started. To get this done, we have our Tusk 4-stroke oil change kit. If you need one of these kits, you can click the link in the description below. That's going to take you over to our website. But this is going to come with your choice of oil, an oil filter, and the O-rings to get the job done. It also comes with a funnel. Other than that, we're going to be using some contact cleaner and rags to clean things up. I've got safety glasses, rubber gloves, common hand tools, including a 5mm Allen socket, 8 and 19mm sockets, and then I have a couple sockets to remove the skid plate. So a 10mm socket and T40 Torx bit, and that's going to depend what skid plate you have. Now in addition to that, we're using a measuring cup and drain pan. To start out, I'm going to warm the engine oil up. So I'm running the bike in a well-ventilated area for a few minutes. With it warmed up, we're going to turn the engine off and remove the skid plate. After that, we'll remove the fill cap, and we're starting with a clean machine, but if you have any dirt or debris around there, make sure it's wiped off. Next, I'm going to place a drain pan underneath. I'm going to wipe the oil drain plug off with a rag, and I'm using a 19mm socket to remove that. And if your shifter's in the way, you can pull up on it. So this cap is on there really tight, so we had to use that 19mm combo wrench and that dead blow hammer to help break it loose. Now when you take this off, there's going to be a spring under there, so just be aware of that. And there's also a screen that we need to take out as well. Now if you're not changing the oil filter out, you're just going to remove this lower bolt on the oil filter cover with that 5mm Allen. But for us, we're going to remove these other two bolts as well, since we are replacing that filter. And I can remove that oil filter. We're at that break-in interval, and you can see there's stuff all over this thing. With that filter out, I'm ready to wipe down all of the sealing surfaces for the oil filter, for the drain plug, and even that oil fill cap. We're going to clean up all of the covers and replace our O-rings, and we're just using a rag and a little bit of contact cleaner. Now we're doing our break-in oil change, which is at 600 miles, but for anyone else, your next one will be at 4,000 miles and then every 3,000 miles thereafter. And just so you guys know, the oil filter is going to be changed out every other time, but since this is break-in, we're making sure we get it done. Now with this screen, you can see we have a lot of debris on it. I'm going to use some contact cleaner to clean all of that off. And if you get something that's stuck, you can use a soft bristle brush to kind of help brush that out. Now, as we go back together, I'm going to dip my finger in some oil, make sure we have oil on all of the O-rings. That way they don't stick. So I've got that one on the cover, this small one. Then we'll lube up both sides of that oil filter. This open side, that's going to be facing out. So you can see the closed side, that's going to be towards the inside of the engine. Next, we have the oil filter cover. This is only going to go on one way, but the easy way to tell is this notch is going to line up with that slot in the case. And then that tab's going to go inside the oil filter. Just make sure the O-rings stay in place while you set that on there. We've got the long bolt, the top right corner, and we've got that Allen bolt on bottom. And just so you guys know, the service manual is saying 5.1 foot-pounds on the top two bolts and then 7.2 foot-pounds on this bottom. Not that it really matters, but our owner's manual, it's telling us 7.4 foot-pounds all the way around. We're just going with that. Now we've got the O-ring for the drain plug. Put that on the oil screen. I'm going to set that in my spring. After that, you want to set that screen in place, and we're going to thread that drain plug in. As you tighten this down, keep in mind the torque In the service manual, it's going to be 31 foot-pounds. The torque in our owner's manual is 32 foot-pounds. Not that it really matters, just don't over torque this because it's going to be even harder to remove than it was before. But for me, I like to just snug it up like that. Next, we're going to measure out some oil. So if you replace the oil filter like us, it's going to take 1,100 milliliters of oil. So this is 1 quart. So that means we're going to have to measure out 150 milliliters to make up that difference. Now, if you didn't replace your oil filter, it's only going to be 1 liter. Now we can put the funnel in place and fill the engine with oil. Now we can install the cap. I'm going to run the bike for a minute and then turn it off, let it settle for about another minute, and then I'm going to check that oil in the sight glass. And while you wait for that oil to settle, it's a good time to reinstall your skid plate. So now that we've let the bike sit for a minute, you can see the oil level is between that upper and lower mark on the sight glass. That's exactly where you want it. If it's not in that range, you're going to want to remove that cap and adjust the oil to where you need it. That's it for the oil change on the Yamaha TW200. If you have any questions, leave those down in the comments. And if you need any parts like that oil change kit for your TW, just click the link in the description below. That's going to take you over to our website. We also offer free shipping on orders over $75, so take advantage of that. And if you want to see more helpful content like this, you're going to want to head over to our channel and subscribe. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.